From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
1 week from today, early voting officially begins in Indiana, and the push is on to get as many people registered as possible by Monday's deadline. Meanwhile, we are just hours away from one of the biggest events of this political season. Thanks for joining us here for the news at 7. I'm Mark Mullins. Today, a predominantly black institution is helping people to get signed up before Monday's voter registration deadline. And as WRTV's Stephanie Wade shows you, the effort helps to make sure people's voices are heard at the ballot box.
Today, Martin University isn't just helping students register for classes next semester.
Along with that, if they need to register to vote, we're doing voter registration today also.
They're also helping people register to vote in this upcoming election.
Some people just don't really think about it, how their one vote can really play a part. So we want to be sure that as an educational institution that we also make sure that not only are we educating people academically in their degree fields, but we're also helping them be civic-minded.
It's important because we all need to be heard.
Students recognizing now more than ever the duty they feel to participate.
But I encourage everyone to get out and vote. You can't change some people's minds, and you can. So just that one vote will count.
All folks have to do is fill out this form, the highlighted sections here, and then Martin University will scan it and fax it into the county for you.
There's so many people fought and died for the right for people to vote, especially we had our suffragette movement for women, and then of course the civil rights movement for African Americans. So it's really a big part to play in what makes this country great is voting.
The university also giving back to their Martindale-Brightwood community today by holding a fresh produce food giveaway in partnership with Eskenazi Health. As the only predominantly black institution in the state,
my grandmother graduated from here and also another family member, so I'm proud to be a student.
Martin has a mission to be part of the community and to always be there for the community. So it's important that we include these type of activities in Martin, voter registration and food drives, and especially with the pandemic going on, people are in need of a lot of things.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
And we have your guide to the November general election up right now on our website at WRTV.com/vote in 2020. That includes all of the dates you need to know in order to make sure your vote counts. We are now just hours away from the first presidential debate taking place in Cleveland. ABC's Alex Prochet is there with a look at how this night is starting to shape up.
Ahead of the first presidential debate, the Biden campaign is already hinting at its strategy, releasing the former Vice President and Senator Kamala Harris's 2019 tax returns, drawing an even sharper contrast with President Trump's personal finances, as detailed in a stunning New York Times investigation.
The Times reporting, not independently confirmed by ABC News, depicts the president struggling with tens of millions of dollars in debt, racking up huge losses from investments like his golf courses and his hotels.
Those losses and questionable deductions allegedly leveraged during tax season, the president reportedly paying just $750 in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017. The Times also reporting his hit show, The Apprentice, helped keep the president afloat, earning him $197 million over the course of 16 years, and hundreds of millions more from endorsement deals he received because of success from the show. President Trump now claiming he was entitled to depreciation and tax credits and saying this about the report.
It's fake news. It's totally fake news. Made up, fake.
Tonight's 90-minute debate will also feature questions about the economy, COVID-19, race, and the Supreme Court, with the president's nominee, Amy Coney Barrett, meeting with Senate Republicans on Capitol Hill today. Biden is prepared for the debate to get personal.
He's going to want to get in the mosh pit. I'm going to talk about why I want to be president of the United States.
But there's also the question of how much this debate will sway voters. According to one election expert, at least 1.1 million ballots have already been cast in the 2020 election.
We'll get a glimpse in the coming days if either candidate sees a bump after tonight. But the latest ABC News Washington Post poll shows that Joe Biden maintains a 10-point edge nationally, both among registered and likely voters. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Cleveland.
And for more insight on what we can expect tonight, our Rafael Sanchez talked with our political insiders Lara Beck and Megan Robertson to get their input.
Will this debate matter, considering that most people, I think, know whom they're going to vote for? So will these two gentlemen now debating the issues, will they change any minds? Megan?
Unbelievably, I do think there are some folks who are undecided. It's certainly way less than in normal election cycles, in an environment where, you literally know anybody who has told you what they think of this election. And if they haven't, then they still might have an opinion. But I do think there are some undecided folks who are going to make some decisions based on this. So it's going to be important for both of the campaigns.
Yeah, I agree with Megan. I agree with Megan, actually. I do think there are undecided voters out there. For those of us who tend to be more affiliated with one party or another, it is sort of hard for us to believe that, but there really are. And kudos to them for educating themselves by watching debates. A lot of times we think the debates don't matter, but they actually really do. I always like to remind people just talk to Richard Murdoch, who debated Joe Donnelly for Senate in 2012. And that was a very consequential debate that had lasting effects. I think that I think this debate is going to matter. I think it's going to have a lot of people watching it. And we will definitely see how it plays out.
We often hear that it's the suburban woman who will actually make a difference in this election cycle. So what issue or issues will resonate tonight? Is it healthcare?
I think it could be healthcare. I also think judicial nominees feel pretty important to both candidates and the folks that they're going to be trying to persuade. Very timely, obviously. But I really feel like it's going to be about the candidates. Biden's got a couple of goals here, showcase that he's competent, reasonable, presidential, not get too taken off topic or thrown off by the president's style of debate, but show he's not afraid to fight back. I think Trump needs to remind people of the successes that he has had and fire up his supporters. In some ways, this is as much a get out the vote type situation as it is persuasion.
Yeah, I think when we talk about women and some of the various issues that you're seeing that are resonating with women, particularly suburban women, healthcare is a big one. But I also think COVID is also going to be a big topic. Most women are really taking the lead on their child's educations right now. They were responsible for e-learning. They're having to navigate all kinds of challenges with COVID. And polls that have been taken across the country show that most folks are not happy with the federal response. So I think healthcare plus COVID are going to be big pieces for women, as well as the judicial nomination process. And the fairness of that. I think another piece that could come up is President Trump has said a couple times that he may not abide by the election results. And I think that'll come up in the debate tonight. And I think that's also something that not just women, but all voters are watching too.
Our political insiders, thank you for joining us. Our Democracy 2020 coverage continues right now on WRTV.com.
And ABC News coverage of tonight's debate begins at 8 p.m. right here on WRTV, followed by the news at 11. We're checking in with young Democrats and Republicans to learn more about the issues they're focusing on in this election. Let's check in now with Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory after a cool fall day out there. And look at that live view of the city, Kevin. Shows some beautiful foliage there.
Indy looks like it's glowing, doesn't it? With that sun setting, reflecting off of the buildings. We've come full circle. We had sunshine this morning. Clouds dominated in the afternoon, and now we're seeing the clouds slowly melt away through the evening hours. We'll throw on those cool temperatures that Mark mentioned. 59 in Indy with a west wind at nearly 15 miles per hour. Actually, our warmest 24 hours are on the way. We'll get the showers and isolated thunderstorms in Ohio. For us, just a couple of showers that will continue to make a run toward the state line with the Buckeyes. You can see that west-northwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. That will calm down a bit tonight before coming back stronger tomorrow. Any lingering showers certainly gone shortly after sunset. Forecast model indicates we're dry at 11 o'clock tonight. Temperature tomorrow hits 70. That's the warmest temperature within my forecast. We'll talk about how windy and what happens as we roll into the weekend coming up.
Now let's get to the numbers that help keep us updated on the spread of coronavirus in Indiana. Today, the State Department of Health reported 20 additional COVID-19 deaths. That is the highest number of the past 5 days. Those deaths occurred between Friday and yesterday. The statewide total is now 3,385. 761 more Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. Those tests reported between Saturday and yesterday. The state is closing in on 120,000 positive cases. The overall positivity rate, though, remains unchanged at 8.7%. Because of the pandemic, health experts say it is especially important this year to make sure you get your flu shot. The Centers for Disease Control recommends people get a flu shot every year. Besides your primary care physicians, there are many options for you to get vaccinated. CVS, Walgreens, and Kroger are all offering flu shots. You will need to check whether an appointment is needed or if they accept walk-ins. We have that information at WRTV.com. IU Health will offer 5 free drive-through flu shot clinics in October. The first is Thursday at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. This one runs from 4 to 8 p.m. The other drive-through clinics will be held later in the month. We have the dates, times, and locations listed at WRTV.com, and we will give you reminders on air as those dates get closer. Still ahead on the news at 7 here, advice from the CDC on the safest ways to celebrate Thanksgiving. You might want to buy a smaller turkey this year.
The sunflower rising at the site of a deadly explosion. And now neighborhoods in this area concerned about what may rise not too far from here. I'm Rafael Sanchez. That story coming up on WRTV.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
Only on WRTV, another neighborhood demanding that new construction not happen in their backyard. It's taken 8 years for the Richmond Hill subdivision to recover from the deadly South Side explosion. As WRTV's Rafael Sanchez reports, homeowners are pushing back on a 5G project.
The sunflower grows in honor of Dion and Jennifer Longworth. Dion loved gardening. His wife loved teaching. The couple killed in the 2012 Richmond Hill explosion on the south side of Indianapolis. The lot where their home once stood remains empty, as the rest of the neighborhood has seen new construction in the past 8 years.
Looky, look at the pumpkin.
Oh, it's a pumpkin.
Yeah, so I picked about 6 of them.
Vicki Kerner built a new home on a lot where the previous house was destroyed in that blast. Kerner is now concerned with a proposed 5G tower that may go up next to her home and so close to the explosion site.
Not next door. Take it to Sherman. Take it to the golf course. Take it to the field, but don't put it there, okay?
She's not alone in trying to figure out why this spot, especially in a subdivision with no utility poles.
What's so wrong with having a 5G tower right there for the convenience and the benefit of all the good people of the south side of Indianapolis?
We're not against technology, but it's where it's going to be located. As you know, you've been with us covering our story for the past 8 years, and you know this is still a lot that needs a house on it, not a 5G tower on it. We just don't need to add an eyesore to the neighborhood.
In November, the survivors of Richmond Hill will, in their own way, mark that moment. Healing takes time, especially among homeowners who value what rises in their neighborhood. Working for you, Rafael Sanchez, WRTV.
There is a petition making the rounds in Richmond Hill. Homeowners plan to voice their concerns on the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting next Tuesday. Another 14 sites on the south side are also targeted for 5G projects. We did get a new statement from Verizon saying, quote, "We are in the process of finalizing approvals for a small cell on a pole that would also bring a new street light to the community without taxpayer cost. We will follow all applicable regulations and processes to ensure that it is installed safely. All equipment used on our network is approved by the FCC," end quote. Remote learning and COVID restrictions have led to tough changes for businesses in college towns. Coming up here, how Ball State is working to keep students connected to the Muncie community. Kevin?
And this sunset looks like a painting. Hopefully your sunset is just as colorful. This is out in Putnam County. We'll talk about big temperature swings up and then way down coming up.
While families and communities consider the safest ways to celebrate Halloween this year, the CDC is offering guidelines for Thanksgiving. The agency notes staying home is the best way to protect yourself and others from the coronavirus. Instead of gathering around the table, the CDC suggests that everyone gather around a computer screen. It says virtual dinners and delivering family meals without contact offers the lowest risk during the pandemic. If you do travel, the CDC warns of increased risk of getting and spreading the virus. The CDC also has suggestions for Black Friday. They say people should avoid going shopping at crowded stores and participating in the race for deals. They also say you should stay away from parades.
All right, Mark, what I like about that idea of kind of a virtual Thanksgiving where you're just doing it on the computer, nobody knows how much I'm really eating. That's the good thing. 59, that's your temperature in Indy, and it comes with what is a great sunset in progress. We've got some clouds on the horizon. I think sometimes when you have the clouds around, that helps add a little character to the sky. 63 in Muncie, other temperatures in the 50s at this hour. Coolest temperatures are not until the end of the week. We're going to make a run tomorrow at 70. The showers that develop this afternoon are ending here as we cool things down. That's a relative term, but get even cooler. The winds pick up tomorrow. Friday and Saturday, the two coolest days in the forecast, setting up patchy frost to begin the weekend. That's the low temperature in Indy. I think there'll be spots outside of Indianapolis cooler than that. Kind of a perfect scenario with the wind going calm and the sky clear. That will set the stage for the coolest temperatures. Back out to Greencastle, Putnam County, and the setting sun this evening. The wind will calm down. We've had some gusts over 20 today. Tomorrow, we start with 50 degrees at 6 a.m. By late morning, 60 in our afternoon high, almost 70. I think we'll wiggle our way to 70 because of strong winds that will gust over 30 miles per hour. And that's through the afternoon into early evening. There's your stronger southwest wind, grabs a hold of some of the warmer temperatures, pulls that veil into central Indiana. The warmer it feels tomorrow, the cooler it will feel as we get to Thursday and then especially Friday and Saturday. We'll have some showers develop Thursday. They would be light and isolated, a little better chance closer to the Michigan state line. I think our real next best chance for rain will arrive on Sunday. During the day Thursday, not as windy. It will be cooler for sure. 63 for the high in Indianapolis. Temperature to the south just a little bit warmer than that. There's the slide of low temperatures down into the 30s by Saturday morning. That's the coolest morning within the 7-day forecast. Most lows will stay comfortably in the 40s. Afternoon high temperatures, they bounce around a bit from our peak of 70 tomorrow and then in the 60s most of next week. As we get to Tuesday, we'll be close to 70 once again. Mark?
All right, Kevin, thank you. College communities are facing some unique challenges due to the pandemic. Tonight, leaders in Muncie are trying to make sure students at Ball State still feel welcome. Heather Williams is with the Office of Community Engagement at Ball State. She says plans are underway to help create safe community events to give students an opportunity to learn more about local businesses and to get involved.
That feeling of community and like you're a part of something. We want the students to have that. We want them to know that Muncie is their home while they're here. And it's just really difficult to share that message and get that point across when we can't welcome them with open arms.
We also spoke to groups in Bloomington that are encouraging IU students to support local businesses. A recent survey from the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce found some businesses have lost as much as 80% of their revenue in the last 6 months alone, and they don't anticipate improvements. Read more about the impact of the pandemic on college towns and how you can get involved on our website at WRTV.com, or we can use the WRTV app.
Tomorrow will be a lot like today in that we have more sunshine in the morning. Clouds will develop in the afternoon. The difference during the afternoon hours tomorrow, the wind will really pick up, gusting over 30 miles per hour. That will help build the temperature up to 70 degrees. Mark?
Thank you, Kevin. Don't forget, ABC News coverage before the debate begins at 8 p.m. tonight. And then the debate, the main event between President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden, begins at 9 o'clock. We'll join you back here for the news at 11 right after that.